ask for the raise. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 71 of our Supersize You annual challenge. Today, we are going to advocate for our worth. How do we go about doing that? Well, if you're an employee, if you have a job, you're going to ask for a raise. Why? Because you know that you're worth it. And I'll talk about in a few minutes how you're going to go about doing that. But if you don't have a job, see yourself getting a job so that you can't ask for a raise or ask for what you're worth when we get a job offer. But if you're running your own business, are you paying yourself? Are you actually cashing your checks? Have you ever, and when's the last time? And share in the comments below, when's the last time you got a raise? Usually for me, in corporate America, it was when I switched jobs and industries and tweaked my career a little bit, because a lot of big organizations, and I started out in one of the biggest corporations on the planet back then, probably still is. I guess I haven't looked into it, but the raises were pretty much standard across the board for everyone, unless you did something absolutely spectacular, which I actually pulled off one year. But we have to be willing to ask for what we're worth. And we do that by, number one, knowing what we bring to the organization, more than just we've been there a long time. The vast majority of your peers expect and think that they deserve a raise just because they've been at the job and showed up for a long time. Not how it works. Just showing up will get you the minimum raise, the minimum expectation. But are you going for the minimum, or are you going for the best possible version of yourself? And when we're doing that, if you're in this challenge, I guarantee you that you have that desire in you somewhere. And so you're not going to just ask for a minimal raise. Well, in order to do that, you need to do your homework. You need to know what your market value is. You need to know what your skills and abilities are and what you bring to the table that's unique and different than your peers, and why you deserve a substantial higher amount of money. You also want to time it properly. You're going to prepare, get all the information, have it all ready, and then when the timing is right, that is when you're going to ask. You're not just going to go barging into your boss's office today and say, I deserve a 20% raise or I'm quitting. Bad move. Not a good negotiation tactic, like we talked about the other day. How are you going to go about doing that? You're going to do your homework. Just be prepared, just like a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout. We're going to get the information that we need. We're going to see if a raise or this amount of raise we're asking for is reasonable. Now, if you've just been doing the minimum to get by in your job, and you know you have, and that means your boss and everybody else in the organization knows that you have, it's probably not the right time to ask for a raise. It's time to ask yourself, what am I here for? Why am I in this job? Why am I doing this? And it has to be more than just putting food on the table and living paycheck to paycheck. If you don't find more meaning in the job that you're doing, and if you don't put more of yourself into the job that you're doing, you will not garner more compensation. What we put into things is what we get out of them. And is it directly proportional to the thing that we're doing? Not necessarily, but there's a saying that says how you do anything is how you do everything. I don't really ascribe to that or buy into that. I think how I do anything I'm committed to is how I do everything I'm committed to. And that is a nuance and a difference that we need to keep in mind. I do not put 100% effort into everything I do. I do not put 100% effort into the laundry. Don't tell anybody. I don't put 1% or I don't put 100% of my effort into doing dishes. Those are things I have to do to maintain my life, but I do not put all of me and all my capability and all my wisdom and all my experience into managing those particular tasks. And so there's a lot of really common sayings I don't ascribe to. I just say, no, that's nonsense. One of them is that we have to struggle, or that love hurts. Bullshit, right? No, we don't have to buy into those false beliefs of other people. We don't have to inherit those false beliefs that other people have given to us. We can just say no and create the life that we want. So today, what are you going to do? Do your homework. Look into your industry. Start mapping out and writing down all of the skills that you bring and all of the things that are unique and special about you that you bring to your current role. And be brutally honest with yourself. If you are not giving 100% of what you can and are capable of in your current role, then you probably don't deserve a raise. I know probably most people won't ever tell you that. They'll be like, if you ask ChatGPT or one of the AIs, they want to be your friend. So they'll tell you anything you want to hear, even if it's a lie. It's one of my biggest pet peeves with AI and automations. It's not really designed to help us. It's designed to make us happy. And that is a really scary proposition, because if it's reinforcing our lies, which I suspect there's a whole lot of people that have been brainwashed by their GPTs or by their chats, not necessarily chat GPT, but a topic for another day. So share in the comments below. I could share some reflective questions if you'd like that. If you would like to see a write-up, I actually do a write-up for every day's challenge. I do not use it because I cannot see it. So I have it. I use it to plan what I'm going to talk about. And usually I go off, I don't have a script because I can't see. So I couldn't actually pull off a script. So I just have to be me. I think most people know that by now. Maybe not. If you just see me for the first time, legally blind, don't see very well. That's why my makeup and my hair is kind of weird some days. And I hate to admit it, but it's probably going to get worse, but that's just part of who I am. All right. So if you want a write-up and want reflective questions, just put reflective in the comments below, and I will put the questions in one of the first comments so that you can see them. If that doesn't add value and doesn't help you, I don't need to do it, and I definitely don't need to share it because we're all really busy and have plenty to do. We don't need extra things. But I like to have them in the morning, and I have a whole set of questions I ask myself every day. And I like to have those because they set the tone in the direction of my day. And they remind me that, number one, am I really giving 100%? Hold myself accountable. Number two, am I self-aware of the impact I have on other people and also the impact I have on myself? And what does that mean to me now and in the future if I choose not to change and just keep doing the same things I've always been doing? It means I'm going to keep getting the same results I've always been getting, right? Maybe actually asking for a raise isn't the right thing for you, but switching industries is, because your skills would be 10 times more valuable in a different industry. That's something to consider and think about too. I learned that my first couple of jobs in corporate America, that by switching industries, number one, I could apply the things I learned in the industry I was in to the new industry, because in that industry, they were brand new and exciting, as well as I could get big, huge jumps in my compensation. My first change out of corporate America doubled my salary, and I got a signing bonus that was double my salary right off the bat when I joined that organization. Plus, I negotiated myself 4 weeks of vacation and a couple of other things. Power of negotiation. Anyway, if I can help you anyway, almost forgot. SOAP framework, A of the SOAP framework. We are running through, this is a problem solving, challenge dealing with, goal setting process that I identified for myself in 2020. And then I started sharing it every other month in a 30+ day challenge to get us through the COVID pandemic. And I mean us, because there were billions of people all shut down and all in the same displaced state during that time period. We thought it was going to go like maybe 2 weeks. That was the first estimate, then 2 months. And then all of a sudden in my life and what I pivoted to, and I say pivot, but I'm like, really pivot? I just changed to every other month annual challenge, and went on for 2 years to get up and go, not annual. I was doing an annual challenge too for me back then, but I also started every other month doing a 30+ day challenge to keep myself and other people moving during the pandemic. And that's where this SOAP framework came from. We all have a problem-solving decision-making tool in our subconscious already. I say install one that's guaranteed to work for you and get you better results than maybe the one that you're using. I would say that sometime in my past, my problem-solving decision-making strategy was ignore the problem, procrastinate, don't do anything until it resolves itself. Now, that was a long time ago, but I still do it sometimes. So it's why I have the SOAP framework to remind me, nope, that's not what we're doing. Today, we're on third step of the SOAP framework, A, which is action. And before we can take action, we need to analyze the alternatives or the options we came up with yesterday. We need to pick one and take action on that today. How do we go about doing that? I'm going to show you my very favorite, the very first decision-making tool that I ever learned from my dad. Thank you, Einar Horne. You were awesome. He was a great dad and a great role model. He taught me plus or minus decision-making. Why? Because we were a household of girls, and if he didn't have a way to help us along with making decisions and choices faster and better, nothing would have ever happened in our household. I say that with great love, but Yes, it was like herding cats many a time. So he taught me decision-making plus or minus. And all we do, what do you need to make a decision on? We need to decide among the 10 alternatives, at least 10 alternatives we came up with yesterday. So I'm going to look at each of my 10 alternatives and write all the reasons to do that alternative and all the reasons not to. So what are the pluses of that choice? What are the minuses? I'm going to look at those. I'm going to pick the one probably that has the most upside and the least downside. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it today. I'll share in the comments below what I end up doing. If you want me to share the actual plus or minus decision-making little thing, I can write a couple of things for each point and share that. If that would be valuable. If it's not, I'm not going to do it. I got other things that I could do. All right. That's now it. If I can help you in any way, ask. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.